Hey everyone, got another team check-in video here for you. This time we'll be going over the Sydney Marauders, who currently sit at 57 and 65, and good for third place in the Far East. Looking into doing Sydney here, kind of picked one big reason, as you might be able to kind of tell just by looking at my screen right now. They got an interesting strategy going on. Um, but otherwise, they sit 5 games behind Seoul, who we just talked about a little bit earlier. You'd think, 8 games below 500, they're probably selling everything right now and getting ready for next year. But, as we know, the race in the Far East is definitely far from over. And the wild card, race, they're only 2.5 games, I think I saw. Yeah, 2.5 games behind. That final spot is currently tied between the Turos and Bison. So they're definitely not out of anything. Still plenty of baseball to be played for them to catch up and get back to the playoffs, which would be an accomplishment after the rough start that they had earlier in the year. Um, their April was okay, but May was just an abysmal month for them. They only went 7 and 22. 24 winning percentage is a horrible month for any team. We kind of started to see them sell off some pieces, but ever since then they've kind of picked it up a little bit. Clearly they had some juice left in them, but June wasn't much better either. 11-16 was a little bit better. But then July is really when we started to see some improvement from the Marauders. They went 17 and 8, and then have turned around so far in August and have stayed above 500 for the month. So they're definitely playing much better as of late. Their offense has been pretty much up and down. You can see here, they hit the ball well. They're second in batting average. They're fourth in hits. They won't strike out a lot, so they're going to put the ball in contact for sure. But otherwise, 10th in runs scored, which is ultimately what matters the most. Not very good. They are 5th in OPS, so maybe you could say they've gotten unlucky. Maybe they should have scored more runs than they have. But otherwise, pretty middle of the pack in terms of power. They're hardly going to walk at all. They're going to be swinging away for sure. They're dead last in walks. And then on the pitching side of things, again, kind of up and down. They've had a pretty good bullpen ERA, which I think there's several things that have contributed to that. Again, we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit, but otherwise, they got 5th in strikeouts, so not bad, but they can walk some hitters for sure. Definitely prone to giving up some long balls. Defense has not been good at all. 10th in defense efficiency, 11th in zone rating. So kind of all over the place here for Sydney, but like you were just talking about. That being said, they're still in the hunt for a potential playoff spot, and really that's all that matters in the end. Looking at their lineup here, Fortunato again has been the man, but I mean that's been the case for the past decade here in Sydney. He's been the guy, former Castaneda winner. Back in 2073, probably. Yeah, 2073. So he had a little bit of a down year last season. Kind of one of the worst of his career, honestly. Lowest OPS mark. But he's back at it again this year with OPS over 1,000. It would be a career high. He's been hitting really well as of late. Is about to surpass his career high in home runs. He's been in that 23 to 26 range quite often. His ratings have taken a little bit of a dive recently. I think his contact at one point was up to 18 or something like that, but still a very good player. He's hardly going to strike out, so it's always valuable. He can play several different defensive positions. So again, he's continued to be the guy in Sydney for sure. Otherwise, Kumaji has been pretty good, who they got from San Antonio earlier in the year. And I don't think it was really a question of whether or not he could hit. It's definitely been, his defensive limitations for sure. And we know Scott's not scared about playing a subpar defender out in right field. And I can tell you he's definitely not been good there. I mean, negative 5.6 zone rating, 947 efficiency, not good for your right fielder. But Scott's willing to stomach that if he can get some more offense, which they definitely need. But otherwise, they got 3 guys in here hitting below 200, which is not very good. Even if one of them is center field, but the other one's your first baseman and left fielder. So That's definitely tough. I'm sure definitely gonna be looking for a lot more offense there than what they're getting. But that brings us to the more interesting part of this team, and that is their current pitching strategy. They have completely cleared out the rotation, and this might be the first time I've ever seen something like this. I can't think of another team that I've seen completely empty out the rotation. We've seen pitch counts for sure with openers, but just to completely clear out their rotation and move everyone to the bullpen is definitely something new, for me at least. And I don't know how long Scott's been running this format, but clearly they've been playing better in the last couple of months, so it must be working. Whatever they're trying, it looks like a lot of it. Their top guy here is Tristan Barclay. Kind of goes through him. He's a fantastic young reliever. I mean, you have to be if you're taken with a top 10 pick for sure. He's got 20 stuff, 17 movement. So, he's definitely that full five-star rating there. He was really good last season. He threw 142 innings, so definitely used a lot. He's been even better this year. He's got a 1.25 ERA and over 100 innings. He's going to probably come close to that 142 mark again. Already over 4 WAR. So I can tell you there's already going to be some owners that choose to ignore him on Cardoza ballots, but he has been fantastic so far for the Marauders. And after him, everyone else is just currently listed as middle relief. I don't know if he has it set for usage on his side, and I just can't see that. But otherwise, everyone, even their starters they had early, set on currently middle relief. Even a guy like Luis Vasquez, who's been a multi-time All-Star, won a Chong Award, and now he's coming out of the bullpen. So it looks like he's made 21 starts so far. He's got to come close to 200 innings, but not as a starter, I guess. So, it's just definitely an interesting strategy. Probably not one I would try, but considering how bad Sydney was playing earlier in the year, it looks like Scott was kind of just looking for anything to mix things up, and this must have been the strategy that he landed on. So, either way, they're getting good results. So it's hard to really complain too much about it, and unless you want to say they're abusing the system and whatnot, but. The guys are pitching well, so far as we can see. But anyways, I think that's it for Sydney. So we'll see if this new strategy for their pitching staff continues to work well, and if it can ultimately boost them up to reach a playoff spot. But it should be kind of a exciting last few months for them, and it'll probably come down to the wire to see what happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you later.